Hi there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Capital A Trading and welcome to my latest Forex Weekly. So again, for those of you that are new, this is just a video where I go through the charts, look for the best investment opportunities for the week, and then bring them to you and show you how I'm going to tackle them. So if that sounds good, if you trade, if you take investments, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. There's a lot of exciting content coming from now until the end of the year, so stay looking out for that. I want to say a quick shout out to my sponsors, The Absolutely Magazine. Thank you for all your support. Again, go check that out. It's available in all Waitrose and M&S stores. With that being said, I just want to say a quick shout out to my website, recently launched. That's www.capitalatrading.co.uk. If you're a new investor, if you want to learn how to grasp the skill, how to take investments for yourself, all at your own fingertips, then check out my website, check out my mentorship program, where we can teach you how to learn how to trade. With that being said, I'm going to get straight into the charts. We're going to go straight into the fundamentals.
Okay, as always, it's very important to check out the fundamentals for the week to see where your charts may be impacted at what times. Now, Monday, again, nothing really to worry about there. Tuesday, I will be monitoring the pound around the London Open to see how that's going to affect it with this unemployment rate here. Again, not expecting too much of a massive impact. Where I'm expecting to see some explosiveness will be around the Wednesday evening, around the pound's London close, around 3:30 there, and then the FOMC minutes for 7 o'clock, just around 2 hours before the New York close. So let's just see how that's going to affect the pound, affect the dollar. There may be some moves to capture in there on Wednesday evening. As we move to Thursday, the main focus will become the Australian dollar with the unemployment rate. So I can expect a bigger impact there. There may be something that happens during the night for us UK viewers. And then, of course, as we get to Friday, nothing really to write home about. So realistically, the main focuses will be the dollar and the pound on that Wednesday evening. There'll be some Australian dollar focus on Thursday. So with that, let's get into the charts. Okay, so as always, first up, I'll start with gold. And I just want to talk around the trade that I mentioned last week, as it's pretty much still valid this week. First of all, I just want to check out this daily picture. I like the way this candle has reached up towards that 1780 level. It looked like it grabbed something on Friday and then was absorbed very quickly for my students that know the process of what may have possibly happened there. So if I just come down to a 4 hour, you can see that this is the area that I was monitoring around, let's say, the 1770, 1775. It did come towards the 1780. I'll accept that. So I believe whatever's happened in this area, this is the market makers doing what they needed to do on the last parts of Friday. And now if I just come down to a 2 hour, to a 1 hour, what I'm expecting to see at the start of the week is price kind of sit here. Don't expect it to be very quick. Don't expect it to happen by Tuesday. But I just want to see price kind of bubble in here around this 1756 level. And then at some point, just reach up towards the 1770 now on the base of this black candle. That's the one that I'm going to watch. That's the one that has left the most institutional play in it. So around the 1770 level, just expect to see price come up there, give it some space. So let's say around the 1775 as well. I'm expecting to see a sell off of this candle. So just monitor that throughout the week. Again, with some US dollar strength with the news that I just mentioned, it may be the best to time it with that. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be gold. Next up will be the US 30. Again, another move that I mentioned last week. And now we can kind of sit with the same move as it's now looking like it's really about to progress. So first of all, I want to mention how the daily time frames with me. It's hit an area, it's hit a point, and then on Friday, it's shown a sign that it's got potential to move to the downside. This is the areas that I was looking at last week in between these two highlighted yellow areas. I wanted to see price struggle here and then make a move to the downside. We've got the struggle. So now I'm waiting on the move to the downside. If I just break the area down a bit more where we've seen the signs of struggle around that 3,500 mark, which was mentioned last week. If I just break it down a bit more, I come to a 2 hour, you can see price struggling here. So then I'm on to the hour now. And what I want to see this week is very simple. Just price come back up towards this 34,900. We can let it go to the 35 and just see more signs of not be in the area. If it still struggles to go above here, you can be happy to take a sell and at least take it down to the 3,400 mark. That's where I believe price is going to reach. So it's not a massive move. I do believe it can get to that point and then continue to the upside. So just be aware of that at some point this week. I do believe this will make its move from here to at least that 3,400 mark. That's the US 30. So the next up's going to be the UK 100. Let's just take a quick look at what I was saying last week. I am going to keep an open mind on this week and I'm just going to watch to see what happens around this 6950 as well, if the buy push will come first to go up to there. So I'm going to kind of have an open mind. Let's see which way the price is going to go first. Where is it going to start to create a transaction that I'm happy to enter with? And then, of course, we'll look to tackle it from there. So keep an open mind on this one. I am looking at a sell around here and a buy down here. It's about watching the price action. So the first thing I mentioned was the buy push from the 6950 level. As you can see here, we've got a brilliant pinpoint entry. So the first part of what I mentioned last week has happened. Now I'm looking to see what's going to happen off of this candle here, pretty much on the 7-1, let's call it 7-130. On the base of that candle, I'm looking to see price have a push to the downside that beats this area and then eventually goes lower than the 6825. So keep an eye on that one this week. Let's see if it's going to struggle in this area, and then we get that move. The UK 100. Quick little update on Bitcoin. For those of you who follow me, you'll know that I mentioned this area recently, how I saw it as a minefield, how I couldn't see price just walking through and it had another drop. So now that transaction was done. That proved to me that the area I was looking at did hold some weight. And now we're here. We've spent the last 4 days of price action just stuck around that 55,000 level. And I do believe we're going to get another little push, at least to the downside, back to the 47,500. But I do believe long term, Bitcoin will start to revive and it will eventually go higher than that 65,000 mark. So just keep an eye on the movement. Let's see how it's going to play this week. I do believe the first direction we're going to get will be to the downside. So keep an eye on that. It's going to be Bitcoin. Of course, very fundamentally driven right now with everything that's going on in the world. This is oil. And I've kind of changed my bias. I want to see price come back towards this 77.50, 770, so let's say 77.30. There is a small transaction. If I just break down the time frame, come down to the 2 hour to 1 hour. Again, the picture looks better there. There's something untouched, unleft. And again, if I just come down to the 30-minute, you see the gap a lot clearer. That's the area that I'm looking to see price come back towards. And then I believe we're going to eventually just continuously make a move to the upside. Now, if I come onto that daily time frame, I just believe this is going back to prices that it's used to being at, let's say around the $100 a barrel. So let's see if it can get there. And that obviously, of course, be our entry around that 77.50, 77.30. So keep an eye on that one this week. It's very fundamentally driven. There is a lot of things going on behind closed doors that we won't be able to know about. So it's just how we're going to react to the price action. So keep an eye on that one. It's going to be US oil. Okay, let's get into the currencies. Now, the first up is going to be the USD Cad. Now, the area I want you to watch out for, again, we've had something happen. The week kind of started a bit slow. Thursday, Friday, just came and shot down to this area. So I want you to focus on the 124 key number towards the 124,500. I do believe we're going to see price start to stall here and then make a little push to the upside. There is lots of liquidity hanging around the 129 area just above. So long term, I can see this rising. That would be around a 400 pip move if you can hold on and be patient. So keep an eye on that one. I expect to see some signs of struggling. And again, we wanted to see some US dollar strength. So we've got news, we've got the fundamentals. So do think about the time that that's going to take off. And then we can expect to see price start to rise. I'm not expecting it to reach the target this week. This may be something that takes up to 3 weeks to a month. So be aware, keep an eye on the area, USD Cad. Okay, so next up is going to be the Euro Yen and the Pound Yen, of course, starting with the Euro. And the first thing I want to speak about is this key number, the 130 level. Again, there's a nice little gap just above it. There's something that's happened here from where the last gap was created, and that's where their transaction came from. So again, this week, I'm just going to watch the 130 level, give it a bit of space. Let's say 130 to 130,300. Somewhere in there, I believe we're going to get the entry for the sell. And again, the target would be quite nice, around a 200 pip move to the 128 level. So keep an eye on that one. It's going to be the Euro Yen. The next one will be the Pound Yen. Now, again, we're in a key selling area. So this is where the market gap was. And all we've had from here for the past 3 times it's been here, drop from there, the drop from here, and a drop from there. So I'm expecting that to almost happen again. Not at the exact same point. I do believe this will come a little bit higher and interact with this highlighted area I've got here. So the key number will be the 153 mark. Let's give it again a bit of space to breathe. Let's say 153 to the 153 300. Somewhere in there, I believe at some point next week, we're going to see some yen strength, preferably later in the week towards Thursday, Friday. And that's where we're expecting to see the move. And again, I'm looking to see it come at least towards the 150 mark, where I can see a gap where price does need to go back to at some point. So keep an eye on them. That's going to be the euro yen and the pound yen. So next up is going to be the pound NZD. Now, first of all, I want to just talk about the 197 level, something that I mentioned recently. If I just come down to the 2 hour, it looks a bit clearer. Here's the area here where something has clearly happened. Price then comes back, hits that 197 mark, struggles and drops to the downside. For the rest of the week, it stays underneath this area and can't beat it, even returning again for another hit and then moving down. So all I'm going to do is watch this area, watch this blue candle here, and just see if price can go higher than it. If it can't, I'm expecting a sell transaction to kick off. And of course, there's always a key number around the 197 level will be the main area to watch out for the entry. So I do believe that we're going to see more struggle. So something like this, if I get the brush out, I'm expecting to just see a bit more struggle, hitting the area, coming back down, hitting the area, coming back down. And at some point, that's going to be the down movement as long as the picture's looking like that. So keep an eye on that. It's going to be the pound NZD. So next up, we're going to get the USD Swiss Franc. And again, just want to speak about that move that happened from the 93,500 level from this market gap. And we've had the push down and we've got the signs of struggle. So if I just come down to a 4 hour now, I still want to focus on the 93,400 to be precise. That's where I'm going to be happy to take a sell entry if price gets there this week. I've also seen something already that looks like has happened right on that level. Already they've kind of marked an area. That's why I've got my red line there. So let's just see if price comes up again. Again, I want to see some more struggle. I want to see price struggling to beat this area. And the target would be around the 9100 level. So again, we've got a nice 250, 240 pip move. So keep an eye on that one. Again, don't expect the move to happen by this week, but as long as you've got your entry and it's starting to make its way down, you can be good to hold for hopefully around 2 to 3 weeks. So keep an eye on that one. That's going to be the USD Swiss Franc. Next up is going to be the Euro AUD and the Pound AUD. So let me just bring the story, bring the picture a bit clearer. We've had some nice sell pushes from around that 163, 162 mark. And now on the daily time frame, I just want to see, as again, Friday it finished like this, and it hit the top of this blue candle here. Now this blue candle, the one with the very small body and the wick, it lets me know that something has happened in that area where some sort of manipulation has taken place. So what I'm going to do is just focus on the 157,500, let's say 157,250 to 500, give it a bit of space, give it a 25 pip range. I just want to see price starting the week, struggling here. Again, pretty much like I just showed you with the brush, just see some more signs of struggle. And then hopefully in the later part of the week, we're going to start to get a push to the upside. Again, I can see at least a 200 pip move happening. So just keep an eye on it. Let's see what happens on the top of this candle. Let's see if price is going to struggle to go lower than here. And then you can start to gain the confidence to capture the buy move. Now with that, that was the Euro AUD. Here, I just want to take you through the Pound AUD. I have got two different type of biases on these two charts. So what I want you to understand is that both won't happen. One of them should, and one of them won't. It's as simple as that. So the Pound Aussie, on this one, I'm looking to see some Aussie strength. So recently, we had a move. I had a move mentioned. If you check back my videos, you can see they're very well documented. Around the 188,500, 188,600. I mentioned a sell from here around 2 weeks ago now, I believe. We had a good push to the downside. Again, last week, I mentioned this area here around the 187,500, 187,750. We had another perfect move from there. So I can see the market makers pushing the market down. And I believe if we're going to get another one, it's going to come back up to this point here and then push to the downside. So the key number to watch for this week will be the 187,300, 187,500. Always give it a bit of space to breathe. And I believe we're going to get a trading opportunity from there. Keep an eye on them. That's the Euro AUD and the Pound AUD. Okay, so let's get into the majors. This is going to be Euro USD, and then I'm going to do Pound USD. And again, I'm looking at pure dollar strength this week, again, towards the later part. So we've had a movement down here. We've had a little swing that's gone and made a new low on the 4 hour. It tells me that, well, for that to happen, market makers would have had to have stepped in and done something around this area. So again, it's just looking at this level here. I believe this is where they are. They've done something around the 16, it's the 16200 area, 16400, somewhere in there. I believe we're going to get price retrace back up. And then, of course, I'm looking to see some dollar strength at some point, again, preferably later in the week, as they're known for getting stronger past Thursday. That's the Euro USD. And the Pound USD is going to be very similar. Again, I want to just see price push back up towards the 137 level. That will be the area where we're looking to pull the trigger. It can come a slightly higher, so let's give it the 137.300 as well. And of course, the US dollar strength. If price is here, struggling in the later part of the week, I'll be happy to take a position and hold on to that until at least Friday night, maybe the following Monday. Keep an eye on them too. That's the Euro USD and the Pound USD. Okay, listen up carefully. This is going to be one of my main focuses for the week. For those of you who follow me, you'll know I called a brilliant move recently around the 127.400, 127.300 mark. We had a lovely move to the downside. We're now sort of bubbling back around, hovering back around this area. So the main focus is going to be around the 127 to the let's say 126.750. So from there to around there, I'm looking to see price struggle again and push off to the downside. If I break it down a little bit, as you can see, we had price viciously move out of this area, make a massive move to the downside. As I break it down and just look inside this candle where there's a sea of bearish action, I'm looking for a lonesome blue candle somewhere in the area, somewhere that lets me know my transaction's about and the market makers are about to manipulate the market. If I just come down to the 30-minute time frame now, you'll notice me talk about a lot of lonesome blue candles. It's the bullishness before the bearish violence came to the downside. And I just want to keep an eye on this area here around the 126.800. So it's in the middle of where I just spoke about. I want to see price come back towards that. As you can see, we're down here at the moment, and then just struggle again. Just struggle again, come up above this area, struggle again. If that does happen, I'll be happy to take a trade in that area. Keep an eye on the Pound Swiss Franc. I just wanted, there is no news. I believe there was some news. There is no news surrounding the Swiss franc. So let's just try and see if it may be a London close at 4 p.m. when the pound's strength kind of dies down, then we can look to trade it. Keep an eye on that's the Pound Swiss Franc. Okay, last but not least, and again, another one of my main focuses for the week. This is pretty similar to what I said last week. I'm just judging the price action now. The 7,000 level will still be valid for a sell. You can still expect to see price come up, crunch this blue box, crunch the gap, and then, of course, make the move to the downside. But just be aware it may be the 69800 now, as I want to see what's going to happen with some very familiar piece of price action left just below my market gap area. So again, it's just going to be about studying what it's doing, what type of struggle we're getting in the area. And then, of course, I'm looking to see some US dollar strength. So again, if we see the struggle from Monday to Wednesday, I'll be happy for Thursday and Friday to go with that US dollar strength. So keep an eye on that one. It's going to be the NZD USD.
Okay, guys, thanks for watching. That's all from me this week. Again, pick out a couple of the opportunities, monitor them, see how you would have tackled them, and then again, hopefully you can catch on to a profitable situation. So if that sounds good, if you trade, hit that subscribe button in the bottom right corner. Stay up to date with the channel. Like I said at the start, there's a lot of exciting content coming from now until the end of the year. Again, if you want to learn more about trading, whether you're completely new, whether you already have some advanced knowledge and want to learn a new strategy, head over to www.capitalatrading.co.uk where you can find out more. Have a great trading week.
Bye, have a great time.